My name is Glenda. I'm a student at the University of Utah here in Utah, United States. I am part of a student group called Somos Dreamers, and we do advocacy work for undocumented students, undocumented people. We raise money for scholarships, and we also bring awareness about the situation here in the U.S. for undocumented people. Currently, there's an estimated 11 undocumented people in the U.S. Children, teenagers, adults, and it's a very hard time, very difficult for them to live here in the US being undocumented. A lot of them haven't been able to go back home and see their families. A lot of them can't work here legally and are exploited by their employers. There's also the difficulty of having to navigate college without documentation. And we are here to pretty much have a space on campus for those students, be allies, and create some change in our communities.
Hi, I'm Kara Slotkin. I am a teacher at Roosevelt High School in the International Academy. I teach World History 1 and World History 2 to international students ranging from 14 years old to 19 years old. Majority of my students are Spanish speaking, but also come from parts of Africa and parts of Asia. Within my class, students are learning the history content, but at a slower pace and working on their English language. So not only are they working on the content in history, but talking about history, writing about history, and working on their reading, all in English. They're varying in their levels of English, so students work together heterogeneously. So they work as teams and help each other with the content and with speaking English.
Say that I hope I didn't scare everybody by talking about how complex and difficult some of the evolution of services for English learners and immigrant and refugee youth in the U.S. has been. But we've had many decades of experience, and I would say one of the key things that we've learned is that that the idea that we would pull children out of a class and try and teach them English for 1 or 2 periods a day has definitely not been enough, and that those children never develop the underlying academic literacy in English that's needed to truly succeed in school. And so in doing that, we've made learning the language and learning academic language the responsibility of all teachers that will come into contact with that child. And yes, that's hard, and yes, it takes a lot of professional development for those teachers, but that's where we're really seeing success right now. And then we know that many people think that we are obsessed with testing here in the US and with data, but the truth is the testing and the data are really helping teachers see that there are 4 domains of language development, and children may look great in some of them, but they may really be lagging in others. And it's so important for teachers to understand that through the assessments that they're giving children, so that they can really build up the skills that students need. And I think it's showing all of our teachers in the U.S. that it really is true that all students can succeed.
We are Utah International Charter School, and our mission is to empower students who need to learn English, who are also in high school, so that they can learn English and also learn their high school content at the same time. And we have several different strategies. Well, we have many strategies we use, but our overriding philosophy is that everyone learns together, regardless of their level of English or their level of past education. If they're about the same age, they're learning in the same classroom. So the teacher has to differentiate instruction so that the curriculum is accessible to every student. So accessible is a key word for us. Another key word is collaboration. So the way to get kids speaking English or any second language is to put them in small groups and give them a meaningful project to work on, so that they have to talk about it. And because they come from many countries and speak many languages, they have to speak in English in order to get their productive work done. And there's a piece that's writing, and there's a piece that's reading, and there's a piece that's listening. So they're practicing English all day, every day. The teacher is doing less talking, and the students, if the teacher plans well, the students are doing more talking, more writing, and more reading. So that's the idea, and it's also called sheltered English instruction. You can do it in an ordinary classroom without English learners or second language learners. You can use a lot of the same strategies, and they're very effective. It's just that for English learners or second language learners, those strategies are critical so that they get many, many, many opportunities to practice and to be motivated to do meaningful work, rather than just sitting and passively listening or not listening to the teacher. So what we try to do is teach English in the context of all of the high school and junior high subjects, and from music to chemistry to physics to geography.
Hello, I'm a professor in the Bilingual Bicultural Education program at Wayne State University, and I teach multicultural education and bilingual education, how language and culture are interconnected. I do a lot of research in Southwest Detroit with the Mexican community and also the Native American community, and my research focuses a lot on pre-contact forms of education. So that those are the kinds of education that were here in the Americas prior to the arrival of many of the different European groups, so that we can understand how to maintain our traditions, our language, our culture, and our ceremonies alongside the kinds of other forms of education that are also in existence here in Detroit and the state of Michigan and in the United States as well.